Shalom, Israel, shalom, shalom, brothers Abba. Y'all are coming back at you with another cold cut. I'd like to give our honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the men that's pushing this truth on the highways and byways, outside, in the elements, trying to wake up the hopeful elect. Shalom, shalom. The mighty Aqua, the mighty sisters with husbands and without husbands, with children, bearing the troubles of education, guiding the households to the best of their ability. Shalom, shalom. And the mighty children as well, keeping the commandments, abiding in their parents' households, building themselves up in the spirit and faith of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. It's going to be a quick cold cut going into, we need demons. We need spirits. Man, you have to be humbled. We need demons, man. If we didn't have any demons, you would be lifted up with pride without measure. You will try to glorify and justify yourself in the eyes of the Lord. You will tell the Most High, I kept every commandment. Now, guess what? Give me what I'm owed. I'm the Most High. I'm perfect, just like you. You will try to. You wouldn't have that mindset of humility. You need demons to keep you humble, and that's read through all the scriptures. You may say, well, why am I fighting the spirit? Right? Why is this demon cleaving unto me? Why can't this demon? Why every time I pray that this demon flee, the Lord doesn't remove this demon? Because you need that demon. First of all, that demon, when you overcome that spirit, it helps build you up. Two, it keeps you humble. Let me go to 1 Corinthians chapter 1. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1. How would the Most High be a God of war if you were given nobody to war against? This would be 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 27. But God have chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. And demons come with foolish things to tempt you. Weed, it's a foolish thing. It's a small thing. Cigarettes, women, adultery, breaking the Sabbath day, buying things on these are foolish and weak things, but they confound the wise. I'm going to tell you that. And God have chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty. And base things of the world and things which are despised have the Most High chosen, yea, and things which are not, to bring to naught the things that are. So there are things that are not, things that are nothing, to bring to what? To bring to nothing the things that are. And that's us. We are brought to a lower state based off the spirits that we deal with that are also nothing. It just brings us down. We're supposed to overcome these spirits, but sometimes we fall. It happens. But you're supposed to get back up. But the reason why these demons exist is why he's going to tell you in the next verse, verse 29, that no flesh shall glory in his presence. No flesh is supposed to glory in Yahweh Shem Yahshua's presence. If you didn't have these spirits to fight, you would glory. You would glory in the Most High's presence. You would think that you were actually something instead of nothing. All right, this is Acts chapter 14 and verse 11. When Paul and the apostles walked right through, I believe they were in Lycaonia. Yeah, when Paul was in Slakia, city of Lystra, Paul and his men were walking, preaching the gospel. They were calling these men different gods, different Roman gods. And what if that lifted up Paul, Barnabas, Silas's head? What if that lifted up their head? What if they said, you know what? Maybe we are maybe they started leaning back in their seat a little bit and that demon was scratching their ear. Right? They had to rebuke that. This is Acts chapter 14 and verse 8. And it says, I saw verse 6, they were aware of it and fled unto Lystra and Derbe, cities of Lycaonia, unto the region of life round about. And there they preached the gospel. And there sat a certain man at Lystra, impotent in his feet, being a cripple from his mother's womb, who had never had walked. The same had heard Paul speak, who steadfastly beholding him and perceiving that he had faith to be healed, said with a loud voice, stand upright on thy feet. And he leaped and walked. And when the people saw, so Paul healed a man that was impotent in his feet. He couldn't walk. He was crippled. And Paul, through the word of the God, through the faith of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, allowed this man to walk. And guess what? People saw that thing, man. Now let's see the people's reaction. And it says, verse 11, and when the people saw what Paul had done, they lift up their voices, saying in the speech of Lycaonia, the gods are come down to us in the likeness of men. So they said, Paul, Barnabas, and these men are gods that came down to us, man. Now, what if that lifted up their head? That's a demon. That's a demon saying that, man. The gods are come down to us. These men, they're not average men. And Paul's like, you know what? Yeah, I speak the word a different way than most people. I lead better than most people. I must be a god. I know the Lord called us gods, but I'm really a god. And Paul just started, and all these spirits start getting to his mind. And guess what? He overthrew the damn gospel through preeminence, man. But that didn't happen. Let's see what happens. And they called Barnabas Jupiter and Paul Mercurius because he was the chief speaker. Then the priest of Jupiter, which was before their city. They even had the priests for their false gods come out to them. Brought oxen and garlands unto the gates and would have done sacrifices with the people. Which when the apostles Barnabas and Paul heard of it, they rent their clothes and ran in among the people, crying out and saying, Sirs, why do you speak? Why do you these things? We are also men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that you should turn from these vanities into the living God, which made heaven and earth and the sea and all the things that are therein. So guess what? They abased themselves. They said, no, no, no. We men of passions like you. We feel a lustful and temptations just like you. We're men of passions. We go through these things just like you do. We're men of passions. We feel sin and temptation and fall to sin sometimes just like you do, man. So that's what Paul, they had to quickly humble themselves, because you even had a priest give oxen and different garlands to these men to accept. And if they accepted that, the Most High would have destroyed them right then and there, because you're not the Most High God. And they were treating them like the Most High God. You need demons. I need demons to keep me obese, to show me how well I'm fighting in the spirit, to see if I'm stronger, if I have gained any growth. How do you know if you grow in the spirit without fighting spirits? How do you know you have gained that power over adultery if you're never tempted with that adultery demon like in times past? How would you know if you overcame that weed and smoking and that blunt rolling demon if you're never tempted with that demon? It's called a test. How do you know you increase throughout the year? Somebody has to give you a test in the beginning and in the end to see where you fell short at and to see if you overcame those things you fell short at. That's why we need spirits. Let me go to 2 Corinthians 11. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 11. And I'm going to start at verse number 30. If I must needs glory, I will glory of things which concern mine infirmity. So Paul said, you know what? If I'm going to glory in something, I'm just going to glory in the things that I deal with. I'm going to glory in the things of my infirmities. I'm not going to glory in vanities and how much wisdom and knowledge I know. I'm gonna glory through the things which I'm going through, because the things which I'm going through shows how hard of a fighter I am in the spirit. The more demons you have to you get to fight is the more stronger you are in the spirit. The more demons that you're allowed to go through, the more demons the most high. That's how strong the Lord thinks you are. Let me actually get that in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. You wonder why you deal with so many spirits? Because the Lord sees that you're a mighty man. So put a smile on your face. You deal with one demon and you think you're okay. Man, I only deal with one demon. Yeah, because the Lord thinks you're weak and you can't handle it. He gave all his best jobs to the person that's better than you. He gave all his best assignments to another brother that can kill demons and submit and bind demons better than you. So you dealing with 3 spirits, brother. That's not really anything. You should be a brother that want to deal with 10 spirits. You say, you know what? I can fight 10 spirits. I can bind all 10 spirits, man. Because that shows the Lord is dealing with me. That shows the Lord sees I'm mightier than what I ought or what I expect to be. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10 and verse 13. And it says, therefore have no temptation taking you, but such as common to man. But the Most High is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that you may be able to bear. So there's temptation that's given to certain men of high stature, and there's certain temptations that are given to men of low degree. Which temptations do you have? Which demons do you have? That's why Paul said, I'll glory in my infirmities, because you don't deal with the things I deal with. Yeah, you deal with those spirits, but the spirits I deal with, real spirits, real wars, real battles, right? What Jay say, I'm in the trenches for real. I'm battling these demons for real. What are you doing? Right? What spirits do you battle? Do you go through anything? Or are you having a happy life? You're living a happy life and you're doing happy things and you just always got a smile on your face. You wake up with a smile on your face and go to bed with a smile on your face. Hey, guess what? You know, man with wisdom scarcely smile but a little, paraphrasing, man. Why? Because he understands through experience the spirits that he has to fight and that he has to overcome. He can't play around with these wars that the Lord allowed him to have, man. You can't play around with these spirits that the Lord decided to give you to fight. That shows that the Most High is dealing with you. That shows that the Most High is not going to tempt you above that you are able. So let me go back to that 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians chapter 11. And verse 30, if I must needs glory, I will glory the things which concern mine infirmities. And that's what you want to do. You want to glory in the things which concern what you go through, right? Let me jump down to 2 Corinthians 12, and I'll start at verse 7. I'll start at verse 6. For though I would desire to glory, I shall not be a fool, for I will say the truth. But now I forbear, lest any man should think of me above that which he seeth me to be, or that he heareth of me. So Paul wanted to glory, but he was like, you know what? I'm not going to do that, because a man's going to think that I'm higher than what I'm actually am. I'm higher than who I really, ought to be. A man's going to think I'm better than what I actually am. Like, you don't want that. Right? Verse 7, and least I should be exalted above measure through the abundance of revelations. Because Paul's seen things that's not all the way docketed in these scriptures. Paul's seen the third heaven. Paul's seen, when you read the first verse, Paul talks about the third heaven, and he can't even utter certain words that he's seen it. There's no word in the English or back then the Latin vocabulary to even say what he saw, man. So Paul said, through the abundance of revelations, there was given to me a thorn in the flesh, the messenger of Satan to buffet me, lest I should be exalted above measure. And guess what? The Lord will give you a messenger of Satan, meaning a demon. Satan's messengers are his demons. So guess what? The Lord's going to give you a demon to buffet you in the flesh, to bother you, to not leave you alone, to help you, remind you that you're just a man, just like everybody. Only the Most High can't be tempted with evil. But you men, y'all can be tempted with evil, to always remind you that you're a man. And guess what? Let's see what Paul said. Verse 8, for this thing I besought the Lord thrice, that it might depart from me. So he's calling out to Yahbashim Yahushua. You may be calling out to the Lord that this adultery demon depart from you. Fornication demon depart from you. Smoking demon depart from you. This Sabbath breaking demon depart from you. These spirits, these covetous demon depart from you. But it's not departing from you. It's there every day. You tempted in your dreams. As soon as you wake up, you want to go off. You got to pray that the Lord, that he removes that temptation, and you get into the words of the Lord. And that's just when you wake up, not talking about the middle of the day. And then guess what? At the end of the day, you see some stuff on your phone, and now you want to go off again before you go to sleep. This demon is not going nowhere. Even though you pray to the Most High about it, he's not going to release that demon for you, because that's that demon you got to fight into the end. You have certain spirits you got to fight into the end. You have certain spirits that men have from their youth up. When you read the book of Mark, I believe the 5th chapter. Actually, let me get that read up real quick. You have certain spirits that people fight since they were children, man. That's not going anywhere. This is Mark chapter 9 and verse 20. And they besought, and they brought him unto him. And when he saw him straightway, the spirit tear him, and he fell on the ground and wallowed foaming. This spirit was tearing this man up. Let's see what happens in verse 21. And he asked his father, how long is it ago since this came unto him? And he said, of a child. You have demons that have been on you since even before you were in the truth. Now you just know about this demon. That's all it is. That demon been plaguing you from before, but now you just know who this demon is. And guess what? You're going to be fighting this demon all the way until the Lord come back. All the way until the Lord decides to free you from this spirit, which can be all the way until you die, man. You got to fight this demon. You got to fight until the end. So the spirits can be on you since you was a child. Right? So Paul besought the Lord 3 times, completion, for this demon to leave. But let's see what happens. Verse 9. And he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. So the Lord said, guess what? Hey, you can use my grace. If you fall to this demon, you have grace from me, man. But you gonna fight this demon. My grace is sufficient for you, man. My grace is good enough for you. You repenting to me is good enough for me. Right? Instead of you not dealing with that demon in the first place. Look at what I just said. You repenting to the Most High is sometimes better than you just not dealing with that spirit at all. Because you repenting even shows that you are trying in the spirit. And the Lord likes to see that. The Lord wants to see some effort out of you. And even so much that you're perfect in weakness. I want you so weak, then guess what? That you're going to be made perfect through sufferings. Let me go to the book of Hebrews chapter 5. You're made perfect through sufferings. I don't know if anybody told you that. It's Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 8. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. So you learn obedience by the things which you go through. That's how Yahushua was made obedient, by the things he suffered. Just read the Gospels. You think you're any better? Paul, he literally told Paul that your strength is made perfect in weakness. Verse 10, verse 9, and being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. So you're made perfect by the things which you suffer. Your strength is made perfect in weakness. Let's go back to that. Verse 9, and he said unto me, my grace is sufficient for thee, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. Most gladly, therefore, I will rather glory in my infirmities, that the power of Hamashiach may rest upon me. Therefore, I take pleasure in infirmities. You have to take pleasure in infirmities. You have to love the things you go through. in reproaches and necessities and persecutions and distresses for Mashiach's sake. For when I am weak, then am I strong. So now you understand, you need spirits, you need demons. You have to have demons to, guess what? To be, from when you're weak, that you become strong. And there's only one thing that's going to be making you weak, is that damn spirit that you hate dealing with every day. But that's the only way you're going to be strong. So you have to embrace that. You have to embrace that fight with that demon. Not embrace that demon, embrace the fight against that demon. You got to embrace overcoming. You got to embrace loading and gearing up for war day in, day out. You have to embrace locking into Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua every day with your sword, blessed, pray to righteousness, feet shod with the gospel of peace, gospel of peace. You got the helmet of salvation. You got the sword in your hand, and you ready to fight this demon day in and day out, man. You know what they say in the world? Hey, I got time today. You got to tell Satan, I got time today, man. Look, I'm gonna fight you. I'm going to get you off you. Hey, guess what? You going to win some battles. I'm going to win some battles, but I'm going to ultimately win the war through Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. And that's why we need spirits, to show that we can overcome these spirits, to show the growth that we have in the Lord. We need these things. Although we hate it, we need it so we can glory in our infirmities, man. Because our strength is made perfect in weakness, and that's what the Lord said. Let me get another precept. Let me get the book. See if this is what I want. This is Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 5. And it says, even when we were dead in sins, have quickened us together with Hamashiach. By grace you are saved. We saved by the Lord's grace. Although we had to keep these laws, it's by the grace of the Most High we even know we have to keep these laws. Verse 6, and have raised us up together and made us sit together in heavenly places in Yahushua Mashiach, that in the ages to come he might show the exceeding riches of his grace and his kindness towards us through Yahushua Mashiach. For by grace you are saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God. So we're not saved by ourselves. We're not saved by how many times, by us having a perfect win streak against these demons, man. No, you're gonna fall, and when you fall, hey, you go off, you sin. And then you have to pray to the Most High for forgiveness. But you should have been dead right then and there. But what if the Lord still saved you? So is it of you or is it of the Most High? You were supposed to be dead. You fell to that demon. But the Lord's grace is sufficient for you. So it's not of man. It's not of you that saves yourself. And that's what these Christians don't understand. It's not saying you don't keep the law. You still keep the law. But it's of the Most High as you are saved. Because you can't say or glory before the Most High that you're a perfect man in the flesh. You have to be perfect in the spirit. And the only way you can be perfect in the spirit is if you glory in your infirmities against these spirits, man, against these demons. But verse 8 says, for by grace you are saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. So it's not of how well you keep the law, because guess what? What you're going to start doing is boasting that you kept the law perfectly, boasting that I'm a perfect man in the flesh. I kept all 613 law, statutes, commandments from when I was a baby all the way until I died, Lord. Give me my reward. You're not going to be able to do that because you fell. You fell a few times. Yeah, you went off. I went off. We all went off. We should all be burnt with fire. We should all be in a grave somewhere. We should all just be dead right now. I'm just talking about just dead, man. Flesh just being eaten by moths and worms. That's what we should get. But we're here by the grace of the Lord. What's going to be the difference when, Lord willing, we can be saved up out of here. The elect get saved. What's going to be the difference? They're still going to be saved by grace because they fell too. So this was a quick cold cut going into we need demons, we need spirits. I'd like to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Hamashiach, Yahushua. Keep the Sabbath holy and not to be a mighty strong. Shalom.